What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to MKE MANIACI, and today we got 10 WWE wrestlers who will never get another major push. And it's crazy that it's on this frame right here of Dolph Ziggler, because listen, 10 years ago from this exact moment, bro was the world heavyweight champion. Bro was the world heavyweight champion, man. Or did he lose it at that time? Because he did get injured. I think he was still world champ. It didn't last long. The reign was very lackluster because it has so much build up to it, man. It's wild, man. But it is a tough realization, man. A lot of wrestlers who was, popping 10, 15, 20 years ago are kind of just in the background now. It's a completely new generation of wrestlers, a completely new generation of talent. Not to take anything away from them, but it's like, their time kind of came and went. So we're going to check out 10 wrestlers who will never get that major push again. Let's get it.
Talent and charisma in the world, but if a promotion never gets behind them, then they may as well be invisible and mute. The right push at the right time is absolutely vital to a wrestler's career and can change the shape of the industry overnight. These 10 performers were all given the rocket at one point in their WWE runs, but for one reason or another, we'd be shocked if it ever happened again. But hey, I'm wrong about most things, so maybe you shouldn't count them out just yet? We'll see. I'm Adam Pachisi from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 WWE wrestlers who will never get another major push. Join us. Number 10, Lacey Evans. Does anyone else remember when Lacey Evans used to just walk out to her music, turn around, and then walk backstage again? Please tell me somebody else remembers that, otherwise this job has finally made me crack. The sassy Southern Belle didn't do much of note in NXT before she was called up as part of that weird on their way to WWE cohort in 2018. Unless I just imagine that too. Evans got her first major program when she was revealed to be Becky Lynch's post-WrestleMania 35 challenger. The pair had several pay-per-view matches for the Raw Women's Championship before their feud finally culminated in a mixed tag team match at Extreme Rules 2019. And yes, the fact that Lacey Evans has main evented a WWE pay-per-view but William Regal never did is extremely upsetting.
I mean, when you put it like that, it's crazy. My thing with Lacey Evans, I know they had a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Trust in Lacey Evans. I remember when she was, I think when she was in NXT, she was helping them like train talent coming into the Performance Center. So they definitely had a lot of, a lot of love for Lacey backstage. But it's just the thing with Lacey now, I think they got the right idea. I like her character. Personally, I like her character. But I feel like they should probably like add a little more edge to it, man. Make it, I get the whole Sergeant Slaughter thing that they're trying to do with her, but it's kind of like the crowd just doesn't care. The audience doesn't care. So it's like, I don't know, man. I'm not going to say that she'll never get another push, but then again, women's careers, and she has 2 kids, I believe. She has 2 kids now. So it's kind of like, how much longer is she even gonna do, this profession? She has a family, she has, other things that she has going on in life. Maybe she did peak very early.
Main evented a WWE pay-per-view, but William Regal never did is extremely upsetting. Since then, Evans has plummeted down the card and now finds herself as a solid mid-card act in the women's division. She isn't a terrible wrestler by any stretch, but in a division full of so many talented women, I think it's unlikely that she will ever be treated as a main eventer ever again.
Send her back to NXT. I know a lot of people don't like, you can't just send everybody back to NXT, but it helps. Look at Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose, if they kept Mandy on Raw, she would have been released way sooner. Send Lacey Evans back to NXT. I think she would be a dominant force. She'll also be a great mentor to a lot of, the younger women coming in, and then you could even build her up in NXT and bring her back to the main roster. But like I said, depends on how much longer she wants to do this.
Number 9, Baron Corbin. Lacey's tag partner in that Extreme Rules main event, Baron Corbin's position of prominence in WWE lasted for far longer and did far more damage than the ex-military gal. The Lone Wolf was earmarked for success right from the get-go, as he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal in his very first main roster match.
Whoa.
Over the next few years, he would pick up the Money in the Bank briefcase, the United States title, and win the King of the Ring tournament. Oh, and he also challenged for the Universal Championship in a number of pretty boring matches. Corbin faced off against Seth Rollins on 3 different pay-per-views, coming up short on every occasion. I mean that in terms of both winning the title and of actual match quality, by the way. Although he's flirted with the upper mid-card a few times since then, Corbin has never been seen as a world title contender since this disastrous feud with the Architect. As an NXT baby, there was a chance that Triple H could have returned him to the top of the card, but so far, creative seems content watching him get punked out backstage every single week.
My thing with Baron Corbin, and don't get me wrong, I do not like the Baron Corbin character. I've never liked the Baron Corbin character. But I will say this guy can get a reaction out of a crowd. He's a natural heel. And that pop that he got in, what was it, Paris? Yo, I feel like I don't think it's over for Baron Corbin. If anything, I say that they're kind of building him up. And if he does get another push, it's going to be organic. It's going to be from the fans. You know, say what you want about Corbin. The guy is money. He could play any part you want him to play. You want him to play the hobo, he will play that and make it look like gold. He will make it believable. You know, like I personally, Corbin's coming around to me. I never used to like the character, but, you know, I'm kind of, you know, it could still
Number
happen.
8, Carmella. In 2017, Carmella made history by winning the first ever Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Well, sort of. Technically, James Ellsworth won the match, but let's not linger on that travesty any longer than we need to, eh? After holding on to the briefcase for a record 287 days, Mella finally cashed in on the first episode of SmackDown after WrestleMania 34 to defeat Charlotte Flair and become SmackDown Women's Champion. The Princess of Staten Island reigned for about 4 months before dropping the belt at SummerSlam to Charlotte Flair again, obviously. Mella was shunted down the card almost as soon as that match was over. Literally, this was the night Becky Lynch's The Man character was born. Carmella may as well have not even been there.
Yeah.
The former champion will always be a reliable hand and will always be around in some form or other, but it doesn't seem likely that she will be holding the top prize again anytime soon.
And, you know, congratulations to Carmella and Corey Graves. You know, Carmella is currently pregnant. You know, like I said, this is the thing, and this is the reality about, you know, the women in wrestling. And I know people can say, well, what about the guys? The guys could want to leave and be, you know, and raise a family. They can. But you kind of, I mean, you see it in society. You know, women have the baby. You know, Carmella's, she's accomplished. You know, she's done Money in the Bank. She's wrestled at WrestleMania. She's been women's champion, you know. And if she wanted to do this still, she can do it. She can make it happen. You can make it happen. But I don't know. I kind of agree with him on this one. Maybe it might be over for Carmella.
Well, unless Ellsworth comes back.
No.
Number 7, The Miz.
Oh,
Is
no.
it fair to call The Miz's WWE title reign in 2021 a push? He only had the belt for 8 days as a mean of getting it off Drew McIntyre and onto Bobby Lashley. He was basically the modern-day Stan Stasiak.
He was a transitional champ.
If we're not going to talk about that, though, then we can definitely discuss the first time he was WWE champion. You know, the time he main evented WrestleMania, the time he beat John Cena.
Yeah.
The bad times. Miz was hot.
Terrible WrestleMania.
Property back then, having turned his Money in the Bank briefcase win into several months as world champion. After dropping the title to Cena, Miz seemed set to be an upper mid-carder, but was soon pushed out when a certain CM Punk got super popular instead. Over the next decade plus, Miz had brief stints in the main events, but always seemed more comfortable on the step below. Pretty recently, he had been assigned to helping get Logan Paul over, and to be honest, he was great at it. Sadly, we just can't see Miz having a third run with the top belt, although stranger things have happened. Number 6.
I actually can see Miz be a world champion again. You know, I understand where people are coming from. The Miz is he's playing a veteran role so well. You know, he's all about putting over the younger talent, you know, and I think I could see him get just another big push. This time an actual world championship run. I can see it. I can honestly see it. You know, it's funny when he won the title in 2010. I was like, why the hell are they, like, I mean, we knew it was coming because he was Money in the Bank, but it just wasn't believable for me. I'm like, you mean to tell me that you want me to believe this guy can defeat Randy Orton, this guy can defeat John Cena, this guy, like what? You know, but The Miz is proving that he could be a dependable main eventer. You know, definitely. The guy can put on an incredible match. He can tell an incredible story. He can cut an amazing promo. I don't think it's over yet for the
Miz having a third run with the top belt, although stranger things have happened. Number 6, Karrion Kross.
Oh yeah, that's...
Honestly, it would not be surprising if Triple H and Karrion Kross were related, because the game went to extraordinary lengths to get him over. And they both really like leather jackets too. At NXT TakeOver in Your House, the former Killer Kross decimated Tommaso Ciampa to establish himself as the brand's new resident monster. 3 months later, he would defeat Keith Lee to unseat him as NXT champ. Things were looking good for Mr. Kross, but wait, what's that? Oh no, it's Vince McMahon holding up a GIMP mask. Karrion's giant legs were cut from under him when he was forced to debut on the main roster looking like a low-budget Demolition cosplayer. What's more, he lost his first match to Jeff Hardy in like 2 minutes. What is going on? After getting released in 2021, Kross returned to WWE under Triple H's creative control. Trips tried to give his former pet project something worthwhile, but middling crowd reactions and uninspired matches soon sent him right back down the pecking order. Kross has recently expressed his unhappiness with his current WWE position, so we may not be seeing him with the company for much longer.
You know, I feel bad for Karrion Kross. This return, when he returned last year, I was actually excited. You know, I think Karrion Kross, they got the right idea. It's just, how are you going to execute this character? You know, we get the apocalyptic, you know, time's up, TikTok, we get that. But it's like, you guys got to execute this. You got to make it believable. The fans just don't believe it. That's why they don't care. But no doubt about it, if needed, bro, the whole Karrion and Scarlett thing, that could be big money. I'm not going to say that it's fully done for him, actually. Now I think about it, I think he got a chance.
Hey, at least he got to grow his hair back. Number 5, Natalya.
Oh yeah, that's done.
If you look at
that's
WWE's female roster from 10 years ago, you will be shocked to find out that 10 years ago was 2013.
Yeah.
Life is fleeting. Death is coming for us all.
Scary.
You will also notice that Natalya is one of the only women from that time who is still with the company. The Daughter of the Anvil is WWE's longest tenured female wrestler ever, having been with the promotion since 2007. Her talent stood out like a sore thumb in the late noughties / early 2010s and has more than earned her status as a respected vet. That being said, is anybody really crying out for another Natty World title reign? The last time the Canadian won a singles title was back in 2017. She got a whiff of the main event through her real-life friendship with Ronda Rousey, but that's been about it. The general consensus is that Natalya has had her time in the sun, and there are just more interesting choices out there for the top prize.
And do y'all really think they're gonna do Rhea Ripley versus Natalya? Like, bro, nobody wants to see that.
That said, it's reassuring to know that if a random woman needs a tag team partner for a random episode of Raw or SmackDown, then Natty will be there, patches in hand. Number 4, Braun Strowman. Braun hasn't been given the huge welcome many were expecting for him since his 2022 return. The former Wyatt family member got released back in the pandemic and, after controlling his narrative for a little while, found his way back to the big dub. Before he left, he was a huge deal, a former world champion no less, so fans were just waiting for him to be slotted right back into the main event scene. But that just hasn't happened yet. Since his return, Braun has terrorized the tag team division, feuded with Omos, challenged for the IC championship, and formed a tag team with Ricochet. Oh, and he also posted that tweet criticizing high-flying wrestlers. Maybe his big fat mouth has something to do with his lack of big fat push? Just saying. WWE tried many times to present Strowman as a top guy in the past, but pretty much dropped the ball with him on every occasion.
You know, and I like Strowman. Strowman is a great guy. He's a great guy. But I don't know what they're doing with Strowman, honestly. I don't understand it. The team with Ricochet has got to be one of the most random things I've seen in recent memories.
His feuds with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar made him seem like a star in waiting, but...
yeah, when he was like, I'm not finished with you, Roman, that era of Strowman, I thought bro was like headed straight to the top. But
the years have gone by and he's yet to live up to his full potential. Hey, at least we'll always have the time he made train noises when he ran around the ring. Number 3, Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, Dolph Ziggler had the wrestling world at his fingertips. The night after WrestleMania 29, the show-off cashed in Money in the Bank on Alberto Del Rio to win the World Heavyweight Championship for the
one
first
of the biggest
time.
pops ever.
Just forget about when Vicky Guerrero handed him the belt on a random episode of SmackDown, alright? Unfortunately, fate was not on Zigglypuff's side, as a concussion would cut his title reign painfully short. And that was the last time he was ever world champion on the main roster. Ziggler has been the victim of stop-start pushes his entire WWE career. He's the sole survivor at Survivor Series, and then he's a bit part in a WrestleMania ladder match. He's fighting for his career against The Miz, and then he's part of a thrown-together tag team with Bobby Roode. Seriously, just give the man some consistency, please. It's clear from his positioning these days that the company sees him as nothing more than a veteran mid-carder who can help get new talent over. Whilst there was a time when he could have been a megastar, the good ship SS Ziggler has unfortunately sailed.
It's like, man, Ziggler, oh man. Like, y'all remember, what was it, 2010, I say even 2009. His feud with Rey Mysterio in 2009 was I liked it when he was Intercontinental champ. But like, man, Ziggler, man, I was always a big advocate for. He needs to main event WrestleMania. WrestleMania 29, Dolph, Jericho, Daniel Bryan. That should be the main event for the World Championship. I was like, man, I was a huge like Dolph Ziggler supporter. But it's like nowadays, man, like saying Dolph Ziggler should main event WrestleMania just sounds crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I think that ship is kind of sailed for Dolph. Will he win an Intercontinental or United States Championship? Maybe tag team title, but World Championship, nah.
Number 2, Kofi Kingston. Kofi Mania was a magical time. After over a decade of dutifully performing in ladder matches, tag team matches, and getting the odd IC or US title run, Kofi Kingston finally won the big one. He earned himself a spot at WrestleMania 35 and with his good friends Big E and Xavier Woods at his back, defeated Daniel Bryan to become WWE Champion for the first time in his illustrious career. And then what happened when he lost the title to Brock Lesnar? Well, he was put right back into the tag division and his title reign was barely mentioned ever again. Dreams do come true. 1 year on from Kofi Mania, Kingston was fighting in a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
I knew Kofi's title run wasn't gonna last. The chase was better than the title run, and that's what would have happened with Sami Zayn. That's what I've been trying to tell people. Like, yeah, we would have all loved Sami Zayn to, he earned, the guy deserves to be a world champ. But even you look at Zayn and Owens right now in their tag team title run, nobody really seems to care. So it's like, it's the chase. The chase was way better than the title run itself.
He then got battered by Omos, and then he and Woods got beaten in about 3 minutes by the Brawling Brutes. Sure, he and Woods have won the NXT tag straps recently, but the company just doesn't seem interested at all in doing anything proper with Kofi if it doesn't involve the rest of the New Day.
Company guy.
And this is bonkers, as they've literally got proof that people are interested in him as a single star. I mean, thank God he's got the power of positivity, otherwise this would all be very bleak. Number 1, Jinder Mahal. Even though it happened way back in 20, it still doesn't feel quite real that Jinder Mahal was WWE Champion for most of a calendar year.
Yeah.
The former 3MB member was chosen to spearhead the company's expansion into the Indian markets, even though they portrayed him as an incompetent heel who needed all the help he could get from his cronies to win matches. For 170 long, underwhelming days, Mahal's reign was filled with boring matches, bland promos, and a mysterious force that could drain joy from a person if they just thought about it. Mercifully, his time with the gold was ended by AJ Styles. Thank you, Alan. Jinder then won the United States Championship at WrestleMania 34 before the company lost all interest in their former project. He received a teeny bit of a push in early 2023, challenging Bron Breakker for the NXT title, but he hasn't been considered a proper main event talent in a very long time. Honestly, it's not like I want to hinder Jinder, but I'm also pretty happy seeing literally anyone else in the hot seat.
Yeah, Jinder's injuries kind of derailed him too. So, I mean, plus the guy just didn't really have it. But 10 WWE wrestlers who will never get another major push. Link down below in the description. Anybody else y'all can think of, sound off in the comment section down below. If you are new to the channel, want more WWE or wrestling related content, hit that subscribe button for me. And until the next video, I'll see y'all then. Thank you for watching MKE MANIACI. I'm out.